how hard the foul is right here. That's a hard foul, and she does get her in the face.
Then she come back and hit her in the face. My goodness, I told y'all, she's a professional UFC fighter.
When she
that Dejanay Carrington is such a violent player, someone needs to check her for her anger issues, definitely, bro.
The WNBA faces a serious issue, and her name is DJ Carrington. What began as questionable play during her time with the Connecticut Sun has now escalated into a troubling pattern of dangerous behavior that risks derailing promising careers and damaging the league's reputation. With Carrington's recent move to the Dallas Wings, rookie sensation Paige Bueckers now finds herself in the crosshairs of a player whose history of dirty tactics reads like a cautionary tale about unchecked aggression in professional sports.
She is the type of player you would love to have in your team but hate playing against her as a basketball player. No ifs, ands, or buts about that, but she does mad stuff, and she nearly took Paige Bueckers out.
The warning signs were there, yet no one heeded them. In Wednesday night's clash between the Dallas Wings and Minnesota Lynx, DJ Carrington added another chapter to her growing catalog of dangerous plays, this time nearly derailing Paige Bueckers' rookie campaign in the process, with 432 remaining in the third quarter. Carrington launched herself at Minnesota Lynx forward Jessica Shepard during a fast break, delivering a reckless closeout that saw her forearm collide with Shepard, while narrowly avoiding Bueckers, who was trailing the play officials initially. Called a common foul, but upgraded it to a flagrant one after video review, a decision that did little to plate Lynx's players already incensed by Carrington's track record.
We're 3 games in. 3 games in. And Dejanay Carrington has already tried to take somebody's eyeball out of their skull with those damn fingernails. I kid you not. I saw this and was like, you've got to be joking. We just started the season and we're already trying to rake people's eyeballs out. Hey, she's poking people in the eye like Ric Flair on the Von Erichs back in '83.
This wasn't just another hard basketball play. It was a near-identical replay of Carrington's infamous 2024 eye poke against Caitlin Clark. The parallels are chilling. Both incidents involved high-risk closeouts on players moving at full speed. Both targeted the head or face, and in both cases, Carrington showed zero regard for her opponent's safety. After the Clark incident, she had to play through a black eye for weeks. This time, Shepard escaped with a bruised nose. But for Bueckers, who came within a hair's breadth of taking the full force of Carrington's momentum, the message was clear. Her own teammates' physicality could be just as dangerous as any opponent's.
I mean, this is just not a good look for Dejanay Carrington. I'm telling you, she's on thin ice, bro. Look at this. Now, that's her assault on Caitlin Clark there, poking an eyeball.
There, poking an eyeball was the WNBA's most hyped rookie, a player averaging 12 points and 10 assists over her first 3 games, suddenly confronted with the reality that her own teammates' recklessness could undo everything she's worked for. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert's office issued no statement following the incident, continuing the league's pattern of silence regarding Carrington's conduct. This inaction speaks volumes. By refusing to suspend Carrington for the foul on Shepard, a play that clearly met the threshold for a flagrant 2 due to head contact and follow-through, the WNBA effectively endorsed her style of play. It's the same negligence that allowed Carrington's eye poke against Clark to go unpunished, creating a perverse incentive structure where dangerous players learn they can injure opponents with impunity. When personal animosity combines with reckless on-court behavior, it becomes a recipe for disaster, one the WNBA should have addressed immediately.
Heard across the world last year, clearly a non-basketball play, but no foul was called, no flagrant was called. The WNBA stays absolutely silent. This type of behavior is encouraged. Sticking your nails in people's eyeballs in the WNBA is encouraged.
If you're enjoying this, please subscribe. Somehow the Dallas Wings thought it would be a brilliant idea to bring Carrington into their organization. What were they thinking? That her pattern of dangerous play would magically disappear once she changed uniforms? That her history of targeting high-profile rookies was just a phase she'd grow out of? The decision to sign Carrington wasn't just questionable, it was downright irresponsible. Now we have Paige Bueckers, one of the most promising rookies to enter the WNBA in years, sharing a locker room with a player whose idea of defense seems more suited to a martial arts dojo than a basketball court. Bueckers, who entered the league with sky-high expectations and the kind of talent that could transform the sport, suddenly finds herself in an environment where her own teammate might pose as much of a threat as any opponent. You have to wonder what's going through Bueckers' mind right now. She probably believed she was joining a professional organization committed to winning championships and developing talent. Instead, she's discovered that her team's idea of roster construction includes signing players whose highlight reels look more like evidence in assault cases.
But then you have Dejanay coming from behind with force, all right? This is a reckless chase down. Pushes Shepard and Paige forward, right? Gets the block. Now look at Paige Bueckers' legs, all right? This is why this is dangerous. I know I'm gonna have people saying, oh, you're soft, and oh, this is basketball. No. This isn't basketball right here, man. This is unhinged, upset, frustrated play. That's what this is.
This situation is especially troubling for Paige Bueckers, a player who should be focused entirely on developing her game and adjusting to the demands of professional basketball. Instead, she's likely spending time wondering whether her next practice session could land her in the emergency room. That's not hyperbole. It's the reality when you're dealing with a teammate whose approach to physical contact blurs the line between aggressive defense and outright assault. Bueckers entered the WNBA with a pedigree that had fans dreaming of championship runs and record-breaking performances. She has the skills, the basketball IQ, and the work ethic to be truly special. But all of that potential means nothing if she ends up sidelined because a teammate decided that practice was the perfect time to sharpen her eye-poking technique. What's most frustrating is that Bueckers probably thought she was leaving behind the chaos of college basketball, a world where emotions run high and young players sometimes make reckless choices. Professional basketball was supposed to be different, more mature, more controlled, more focused on the game itself. Instead, she finds herself in an environment where the greatest threat to her future might not come from the opposing team, but from across the locker room.
Was it a flagrant 1? Yes. Could it have been called a flagrant 2? Yes. Was it more dangerous to Paige Bueckers than anyone else? Because Paige Bueckers was the one who was the person with the break Jessica Shepard's fall. Could she have blown out her teammate's knee? Yeah. Like that is what, realistically, that is what the conversation should be about. Because she wanted the Kiki Iriafen viral meme. Because as soon as she did it, look at what she does as soon as she did it. As soon as she did, she walks towards Jessica Shepard and just tries to do the Kiki Iriafen face. Like, I'm sorry, you don't get to plow through somebody's back, almost injure a teammate, and then say, yeah. And then, claim that you've done nothing.
Here's where the story takes an even more infuriating turn. The WNBA's complete and utter failure to address Carrington's pattern of dangerous play. This is a league that claims to prioritize player safety and uphold the integrity of the game, yet it has allowed a player with a documented history of potentially injurious conduct to continue playing without facing any meaningful consequences. The league's response to the eye poke incident involving Caitlin Clark was, essentially, radio silence. No suspension, no fine, not even a statement about reviewing dangerous plays. It's the kind of non-response that makes you wonder if the WNBA's disciplinary committee is actually just a magic 8-ball someone shakes whenever player conduct becomes a serious issue. But the real kicker is that this isn't just about past incidents anymore. By letting Carrington continue to play without addressing her reckless tendencies, the WNBA is giving her a green light to keep endangering others. The message they're sending is clear. If you're talented enough, you can get away with behavior that would be criminal outside the arena. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert often speaks about growing the WNBA and attracting new fans. But how does that happen when the league becomes known for allowing violent conduct to go unpunished? Do we really expect parents to encourage their daughters to pursue professional basketball when they see athletes leaving games with black eyes from deliberate, unchecked fouls? The league's silence isn't just disappointing, it's dangerous. Every game Carrington plays without facing real discipline is another opportunity for someone to get seriously hurt.
A basketball court, what is going on in this league? I mean, look, I saw physical basketball with the Bad Boys Pistons growing up. I don't ever remember them trying to finger scoop people's eyeballs out of their skull. I mean, call me crazy, I don't remember that. Dejanay Mustard Carrington. God, dog. is hunting for eyeballs again.
Let's zoom out for a moment and consider what this situation means for the WNBA as a whole. The league has spent years working to build credibility, attract sponsors, and prove that women's professional basketball deserves attention and respect. But all of that progress is undermined when players are allowed to engage in behavior that makes the sport look more like a street fight than a professional competition. The situation with Carrington also creates a competitive imbalance that threatens the integrity of the game itself. When one team has a player willing to cross lines others won't, it forces opponents into impossible decisions. Do they play their normal game and risk injury? Do they ramp up their own physicality just to protect themselves? Or do they burn mental energy worrying about their safety instead of focusing on basketball? At this point, it's no longer just about Carrington. It's about what the WNBA represents as an organization. Is it a professional sports league committed to fair play and player safety? Or is it becoming a poorly managed spectacle where anything goes as long as it draws attention? Right now, based on their silence and inaction, the league seems to be leaning toward the latter.
Christine Brennan asked DiJonai Carrington about that specific play. DiJonai said, "Oh, I had no idea. She played dumb." I mean, I don't know if she's playing, but she acted dumb. Let's just say she acted dumb. "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." And then what happened after that? The WNBA Dweeb Police, aka the Players Association, they asked for that reporter's credentials to get taken away. They asked for that Hall of Fame journalist credentials to get stripped from her. Tell me this league can't be more unserious than that. You can't even ask basic questions.
Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has presided over a period of significant growth in the WNBA's popularity and visibility. Television ratings are up, attendance is climbing, and the league has never been more relevant. But all of that success means little if she can't uphold basic standards of player conduct and safety. Engelbert's silence on the Carrington situation is especially damning because it represents a failure of leadership at a critical moment. This is exactly the kind of scenario where a commissioner needs to step up, make a statement, and demonstrate that the league will not tolerate dangerous play, regardless of who is involved. Instead, we've heard nothing. A commissioner's role isn't just to celebrate wins, it's also to confront problems head-on before they spiral out of control. By failing to take action against Carrington's reckless conduct, Engelbert is effectively telling every player in the league that the rules don't apply if you're talented enough to ignore them. What makes this even more frustrating is that addressing the issue wouldn't be complicated. A suspension, a fine, a clear statement on acceptable conduct, any of these would send a message that the WNBA takes player safety seriously. Instead, we're left with the impression that the league is either too afraid or too indifferent to police its own players.
Flagrant one, which it should, but I think at this point she need to get fined, bro. She's almost like, on the real, DiJonai Carrington is the female Draymond Green. At this point, she's the female Draymond Green, bro. I can't even lie.
The Dallas Wings organization deserves particular criticism for bringing Carrington into their locker room, fully aware of the kind of player they were signing. This wasn't a case of someone developing bad habits after joining the team. It was a deliberate decision to acquire a player with a documented history of dangerous on-court behavior. What does this say about the Wings' organizational culture? What message does it send to players like Paige Bueckers, who came to Dallas expecting a professional environment centered on basketball excellence? The team has effectively told its roster that winning games matters more than player safety, a philosophy that is almost certain to backfire. The Wings have now put themselves in an impossible position. If Carrington injures a teammate or opponent, the organization will be forced to explain why they saw the risk and chose to enable it. On the other hand, if they try to rein in her dangerous style of play, they risk alienating a player they clearly signed for that very aggression. It's a lose-lose scenario that could have been entirely avoided by simply choosing not to bring her into the organization in the first place.
Paige's legs are completely from under. So she's falling straight to her back after you done came in and pushed both of them forward, right? Then not only did she push her forward, she had her hand on the ball, and then she rakes back. Look at that. Bam! Right on the eyes, scraping back. Now, some people will say, well, they were down. She's trying to keep the ball in play so they could just take it down to the other end. I don't care what she was doing.
The solution to this problem isn't complicated, but it does require the WNBA to start acting like a professional sports league, not a playground where bullies are free to run wild. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert must take immediate disciplinary action against Carrington for her pattern of dangerous play, regardless of when or where the incidents occurred. A retroactive suspension may be unusual, but extraordinary circumstances demand extraordinary measures. When a player's conduct jeopardizes the safety of others and the integrity of the sport, the league has a duty to intervene, even if it failed to do so initially. The WNBA must also establish clear, enforceable standards for player conduct, standards that leave no room for interpretation. Dangerous actions such as eye pokes, deliberate attempts to injure opponents, and other non-basketball plays should result in automatic suspensions, with escalating penalties for repeat offenders. Most importantly, the league must send an unambiguous message. Talent does not excuse dangerous behavior. The future of the WNBA hinges on its credibility as a professional sports organization, and that credibility disappears the moment fans start to believe that certain players are above the rules.
To me, this is not right here how you actually get eyeballs on this sport. This is not how it's done. This is not how it should be done. Back to her old tricks, WNBA waiting for someone to lose an eye before they do something. This person says they're going to take out Paige too. What a jackass. D Ninja is one of my followers, actually. Do they wear face mask in that sport? I mean, this is nuts. It's really nuts.
DJ Carrington's continued presence in the WNBA without meaningful consequences for her dangerous play highlights everything wrong with the league's current approach to player discipline. From her eye poke on Caitlin Clark to the ongoing threat she poses to teammates like Paige Bueckers, Carrington has repeatedly demonstrated a willingness to cross lines that should never be crossed in professional basketball. The WNBA now stands at a crossroads. It can continue to ignore this issue and hope it fades away, or it can take decisive action to protect its players and uphold the integrity of the game. The choice the league makes will not only define Carrington's career, it will determine whether the WNBA truly stands by the values of safety, professionalism, and fair competition that it claims to represent.